The New York Times is reporting Governor Gavin Newsom is planning sweeping and controversial action to combat homelessness across California. Parker Collins is leading us off to tell us what we know so far. This is in response to that Supreme Court ruling.
And the consequences to this could be huge. As you know, solutions that we typically have used, like building housing, that takes a lot of time. An executive order from the governor, however, that could bring change quickly. The New York Times reports Governor Gavin Newsom will order California state officials to begin dismantling thousands of homeless encampments. And like Giselle was saying, it's motivated by last month's Supreme Court ruling that gave governments greater power to remove homeless people from their streets. The justices upheld an Oregon city's ban on homeless residents sleeping outdoors. So the question I would have, how effective will this be? Well, new research indicates clearing encampments may not be all that effective. A recent Rand Corporation study found dismantling encampments had little or even no long-term effect on a city's homeless population. The study looked at Hollywood, Venice, and Skid Row, finding the homeless repopulated the areas after the encampments were removed. Now, we have to say LA Mayor Karen Bass is pushing back on this and says she wants to challenge some of that report's findings. For both Bass and Newsom, homelessness has become a key and highly charged political issue. Locally, there are signs the crisis is easing somewhat. The last point-in-time count came out this summer, and it showed a decrease in LA homelessness for the first time in 6 years. That dip applied to both the city and the county. And I'll also say we've reached out to the governor's office to try to figure out how exactly will this executive order be worded, how will it be received by the cities. Waiting to hear back on that.
Well, we know it's going to be very controversial with the progressives in Los Angeles for sure. Listen, we have the worst homelessness crisis in the country. It's worse here than any other place, any other state. And taking this kind of aggressive action, I mean, we've thrown billions at this issue, and it just doesn't crack the case. It might go down a little bit, but
it's such a multifaceted issue. But you start with the thing I would start with. It's the numbers of it all. More than 45,000 people are homeless in Los Angeles. And like you were saying, hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars have been devoted to solving this crisis. However, it was kind of this bombshell audit that came out statewide earlier this year, and it was showing California is not properly tracking its homelessness spending. And so you have this lack of accountability on the state side and really uncertain and kind of unproven results despite how much money is being invested.
All right. Keep us posted on all developments. Thank you.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.